As I suspected this weekend, Canon isn't going to be making an announcement ahead of CP+. Will the Canon EOS R1 get pushed into 2022? Well, what we do know at this point is that many products planned for this year are definitely getting pushed into 2022, and it's due to the worsening supply chain issues. I'm going to give you an update on what lenses are affected. This and more after the intro. Hi, I'm Simon. Thanks for tuning into The Ordinary Filmmaker. Subscribe to get notification of new videos like this one so you don't miss any news, rumors, gear reviews, or tutorials. And to make things a little bit more exciting, I'm giving away a brand new Canon EOS R5 full-frame mirrorless camera to one lucky viewer. Details are in the description down below, or you can watch this video here, but please look at the terms and conditions as there are some age and location restrictions. And now for the news. Over the weekend, I stated that I didn't think Canon was going to make any gear announcements ahead of CP+. Now, if Canon had planned something, well, we'd likely know because Canon likes to leak specs ahead of the official announcement, like they did with the Canon EOS R5. If you can remember back last year, they kind of leaked things for about 5 months. Now, this morning, Canon rumors confirmed that Canon had planned to make some sort of a splash ahead of CP+, which begins on February the 25th, 2021. A splash? Would this have been the Canon EOS R1? Or what about maybe that high megapixel EOS R5S? Or maybe even an APS-C R system body? What do you think? Canon's facing supply chain constraints and manufacturing challenges. This is one camera that's due to make a splash. As Craig said, this is going to be a difficult year to pin down announcement dates, and I wouldn't be surprised to see everything pushed to the second half of 2021 as manufacturing challenges should improve over the coming months. And this optimistic outlook is dependent largely on how well countries can return to normal, which by some estimates may not happen until late 2021 at the earliest. Now, I choose to be optimistic and believe that we'll turn the tide by late summer, with life returning to normal by Christmas. But now, for an update on some of those lenses that were due out in this first quarter. The Canon RF 18 to 45mm f4 to 5.6 image stabilized STM lens was scheduled for a CP+ announcement. Now think about this for a minute here. This is the focal range that's common for kit lenses on APS-C cameras like the Canon 90D, the 80D, the Rebel series, the M series, etc. Was Canon planning to announce an APS-C R system camera ahead of CP+ or shortly thereafter? Will we see this camera before the end of 2021? Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. Now, this focal range doesn't make a whole lot of sense for full-frame cameras, so that's why I'm thinking this indicates that an APS-C R system camera is very close at hand. And you'll remember rumors from probably a few months ago? Well, they were indicating we'd get 2 APS-C R system cameras this year. Now, Canon has planned to release the RF 24mm f1.8 image stabilized STM lens, the only prime planned for this year. Now, it was scheduled for a Q4 announcement, but has been pushed into 2022. I know what you're thinking. Would I have bought this pancake lens? Yes, I think this would make a great price for the channel, but you know what I really want. I want a 16mm anywhere from an f1.8 to f2.8 so I can use for vlogging. I don't know when we're going to see this lens. Now, the last lens I'm going to talk about here today is one of those big whites that I talked about yesterday. Canon had planned to announce the RF 100 to 400mm f5.6 to 7.1 image stabilized USM at the end of the second quarter of 2021. And like other lenses mentioned, we're not going to be seeing this until Q1 2022 at the earliest. Sorry, I know this isn't the kind of news you wanted, especially on a Monday, and I knew that 2021 was going to be challenging, but I didn't think it would be this challenging. We will get product announcements, but we'll see fewer announcements than planned, with many products getting pushed into 2022. And this is what was initially planned for 2021. I think it's safe to say that we'll see about half of what's here at best. Will we see the Canon EOS R1 in 2021? Well, I definitely hope so, but again, Canon hasn't leaked any news at all, and I would have expected some news earlier this month. We haven't even gotten a trickle. Now, let's go back to the EOS R5. The very first leaked announcement, I'm pretty sure this is coming from Canon, because if you look at the detail and everything was bang on, was January the 27th. That was January 27th of last year. We didn't actually get the camera available for sale until July the 30th, and I believe it was announced somewhere around July the 11th. So that was 6 months of Canon building up the hype machine. Now, the Canon EOS R1 being the significant camera that it's supposed to be, that it's a major upgrade over the 1DX Mark III, I can't imagine that they wouldn't have a similar festival of leaks, and yet we've heard nothing, not a development announcement, nothing. It's gone silent. We started to get some trickles last year, and then everything completely just dried up. So I do expect an announcement in 2021. I do expect it to see it at the Tokyo Olympics, if they go ahead. And here's the thing, the IOC and Tokyo has gone ahead and said, yes, they're going ahead. We're going to have the Olympics. They're going to be restricted in some way. But in a recent poll, about 80% of the Japanese public, or at least the Tokyo public, are saying that they really don't want to see the Olympics go ahead. So I'm a little bit less confident of a 2021 general public release, but definitely an announcement is what I think will happen. But this is just conjecture. This is my personal feelings. I don't have any evidence to back that up. So to sum up, this is what we know. Supply chain issues left over from 2020, the AKM Semiconductor fire late last year, and further disruptions in 2021 have seriously constrained product supply and cut back on planned announcements across all sectors, and not just imaging, but the entire market. We're unlikely to see these issues improve until Q3 at the earliest, but as things change, subscribe and punch that notification bell to get the latest news. And now, let's go behind the scenes. Like most of you, we've been locked up for going on a year now, or almost a year. And it's tough. This morning we spent a good couple of hours going through some old family videos, and one in particular where we were in Munich, Germany. And it was a 2-week trip. We spent the first week in London, and then we spent the second week in Munich. And London, we just were stressed. It was very expensive. We just didn't have a lot of fun, and we were traveling with a 2-year-old. By the time we'd gotten to Germany, we'd learned how to travel with a 2-year-old. We've learned in about 5 days, the hard way. And Germany was a lot of fun. We were lucky we got a package with British Airways, and no, they're not sponsoring this, but I think we paid about $535. And that included the flight from London, as well as the hotel stay with breakfast. And it was right downtown, right next to the major train station. And, I loved Germany. I loved Munich. It's a different language, but it's a very welcoming culture. At least that's what we discovered while we were there. Now, my first interaction with somebody German was right after we got off the plane. We'd got our luggage and we went through, and I knew what station we needed to go to, but the station name was in English. So when I went to the automatic kiosk and I chose English, the names were in German, so I didn't know where to go, and I'm kind of panicking because I'm exhausted, I'm tired, and I'm just frustrated, right? And I'm an old guy, so don't handle stress very well. And I said to my wife, I said, look, I just don't know. Give me some time. And this lady came by and she said, do you need help? And I said, yes, please. I'm looking for the major train station downtown. And this is the English name that I have of it. And she said, you want this one here. And the other thing that confused me too is what Google said would be the price was different. So if the price had been the same, I would have gone, okay, it must be this one here. So anyhow, as we got downtown, we got to our hotel room, and we pretty much went to bed. It was late. And then the next day we got up, we had breakfast at the hotel, and we got on the hop-on, hop-off tours. I can't remember which company it was. And it was perfect because Munich is just one of those cities where the bus tour is great because it shows you all the major stuff. And then after the second day, you can pretty much get off and walk to all the places. It's got everything. It's got shopping for the wife with all the stores that she would want. It's got all the architecture. It's got a lot of history. There's a lot of history in Munich. Some of it, the recent was very sad, what happened to the city, what happened to Europe in general. But also you've got the restaurants too, and all the, I couldn't believe it. With this one restaurant where we had lunch, it was massive. It went on for miles, and it was just beautiful. It had to have been there, or it looked like it had been there for 100 or 200 years. But as the tour lady told us, much of the downtown area had been destroyed in the war, so that everything was rebuilt. But it just looked beautiful, and I really, really loved Munich. I love the people. What I really love too is how everybody just seems to abide by the laws and follows the signs. It's a very orderly place, and I really appreciated that. So long story short, if you're from Germany, I don't know when we're going to go back because obviously now's not a good time. I don't know what's going to happen in 2021. But one of our top destinations is to go back to Germany and to visit Berlin this time. And if you're from Germany, maybe you can give me some help. Now, because I'm a really tall guy, I'm 185 centimeters or 6'1", and I generally like to stay at American hotels because they have those big beds. When I stay at traditional European hotels, my feet quite often stick out. There's not enough room. And of course, I have my wife and child with me. So, but still, what would you recommend I see? Where do you recommend I stay? I also like to get a breakfast with my stay because that way, you know, we get fed. And as soon as we leave the hotel, we're ready to go and continue our day. We love the architecture, we love the history, but we also love the gardens, the beauty of the place, maybe sample some beers. What is a good time for festivals? What type of festivals are good to see? We're traveling with how old will he be? Well, he's going on 7 in a few months here, so next year he'll be going on 8 and then going on 9. So still very much a young boy. And we do like walking a lot of places, although the hop-on tours are a good way to sort of get familiar with a lot of the architecture. But also outside of Berlin, let's say within an hour or two, what else is there that we should definitely take a look at? Because we really want to get as much as we can out of Berlin. It's a city that's been around for a long time. I'm not sure how old Berlin is. I heard it was somewhere around like 1,000 years, 1,500 years old. It's a very old, no, it's got to be older than that. That was in Munich, it was around 1,000 years old. But yeah, please let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to know a little bit more. And when traveling, it's always best to hear from locals as what you should do. And also, tell me some of the don'ts too. I'd love to hear more. Now, just one more thing on this behind the scenes. You might have noticed this white line down my arm and probably putting comments down already. Simon, what's this white line down your arm? Well, this morning while I was making pancakes, I touched my arm on the frying pan, so I've got a burn right down here. It is not very pleasant. It does hurt a little bit. But what this is toothpaste. That's right, toothpaste. I didn't realize this until I got married. Previously, when I got burns, I'd put some aloe vera on that, so I always kept an aloe vera plant in the house, but it didn't do much for the pain. It's amazing. If you take like just a cheap toothpaste, like a mint toothpaste, and you put it right over the burn. Now, I'm not talking about any third-degree burns here. If you get any third-degree burns, serious burns, you need to go to the hospital. But your typical burns around the house, where they generally don't break the skin or might blister, you get a mint toothpaste, you put it on, and almost immediately it cools it down and the pain is much reduced. So that's what I use. And as far as medication goes, it's very cheap. A tube of toothpaste can be anywhere from $1 to a couple of dollars. So I highly recommend that. But that's it for now. I'm going to do my best. As soon as news comes out, I'm going to give you an update. But I think 2021, I think we need to curtail our expectations a little bit. Sadly, I thought things were going to really open up. And I think NAB already got an idea of what was going to happen in 2021 because they moved their show from the spring to, I think, September, October timeframe. So I think maybe NAB is going to be very, very interesting this year. And who knows, maybe September, October of 2021 will be the big camera season. Because normally it's right from January all the way up to about May, June. But I think this year we might get an awful lot of announcements in the 3rd and 4th quarter of 2021. But again, that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching The Ordinary Filmmaker. Don't forget to subscribe for your chance to win 2 Angelbird 128GB AV Pro MK2 V90 SD cards, along with a dual UHS-2 card reader. Or you could also win a Ulanzi LED light package with accent lights, underwater lights, and various other flat panel lights that you can use for lighting your subject. Or it's also a great kit for starting your own YouTube channel. I'll be awarding these 2 prize bundles to 2 lucky viewers once the channel reaches 30,000 subscribers. And then I'll offer up a different prize every 10,000 subscribers until the channel reaches 100,000. And on that significant milestone, I'll be offering up a brand new Canon EOS R5 full-frame mirrorless camera to 1 lucky viewer. And on that bombshell, thanks so much for watching The Ordinary Filmmaker. Have a good week, and we'll see you soon.